In Diamond Management and Technology Consultants' recent Digital IQ study, more than 60% of respondents said that the Chief Information Officer has an understanding of how advances in IT could significantly influence or change their company's core products and services. Companies are constantly using different methods to evolve and innovate. Google employees get 1 day off per week to innovate and think of their next big product, like Google Maps or Google Earth. That's 20% of employees' paid time spent innovating. Would such a plan work for other companies or other industries? We asked Jamie Yoder, Managing Director of Diamond's Insurance Practice, about the role of innovation.
But I do think clearly understanding its part within the organization and even dedicating some aspect. If you look at sort of the portfolio of investments, too often it's eaten up by, run the business, so a lot of the basic stuff, but too often everyone takes a huge swing towards every project has to have an ROI, which tends to lend itself to efficiency and more marginal improvement plays and not necessarily breakthrough innovation that may be necessary. So how do you really look at sort of what I would call option creating investments towards innovation that may be are necessary as part of your portfolio? It may not be 20% per se. I mean, for each organization, it's an understanding of where you're really trying to take the business. But it could be 10% of your investments. 5, 10%, 15% of your IT investments for innovation, and then you find ways. That's obviously an innovative way to just give everybody sort of a chance to think about it. Or there's a way to take some key people in a lab setting, or take both business and technology resources, but to dedicate some portion of your portfolio, an IT investment spend aimed at innovation, and allow it to flourish in more creative settings and creative ways that don't necessarily tie to an immediate ROI, which too often becomes the overriding factor. So it's not getting away from making money. It's just some of it will make money in the near term, and some of it's going to make big money in the longer run. Maybe it's a different way to think of it. So if you think of it like you would your traditional investment portfolio, it's really that option creating investment.
Technology has a huge role in today's business landscape. From cloud computing to mobile applications, almost every sector is facing new opportunities and challenges, thanks to technological advances. We asked Jamie how it's possible to stay on top of the newest tech trends.
It's to actually continue to, and I don't want to say play, but I think it's probably a fair word. It's continue to explore and invest in it and look at those things in new ways. It's not just sort of sit on the sidelines and say, what might that mean? But it's actually to look, to your point on the innovation earlier, how can I do some things in the labs that actually start to explore and learn the value of it in very small pilots, including market pilots. And that's part one. I think the second one is really some new models that people explore. Is, can I actually create partnerships with more leading? Insurance companies wouldn't have thought of this so much in the past, but can I have some partnerships with and alliances with some very leading edge technology providers? And what that might bring, and use that as a way to sort of seed a pipeline of ideas. But a lot of it gets at how we constantly. I think a lot of it gets back to the point I made earlier. It's about actually dedicating some part of your investment to actually continue to pursue that and look at some of your star technology performers and think about them differently. Think about them almost in a way you think of as how one attracts sort of startup performers.